When you hear the name Legos, what's the first word that pops into your head? For a lot of people, that word is chaos. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? Today, we're going to look past that. We're going to look underneath all that noise to find the incredible, self-organizing engine that powers one of the fastest-growing megacities on the entire planet. Let's get into it.
Okay, so to really get Legos, you have to understand its unwritten rules. Rule number 1, which you see everywhere in the city's constant motion, speed beats planning. Forget the 5-year plan. This city just moves way too fast for that. And rule number 2, it's all about survival over comfort. You see, in Legos, comfort is a nice to have. It's a luxury. But survival? That's the necessity that sparks incredible, relentless innovation every single day.
And the last rule, maybe the most crucial one of all. This city does not wait for permission. It grows, it adapts, it completely reinvents itself in real time without ever asking for anyone's approval. It just does.
And that right there, that brings us to the heart of what we're talking about today. We're not looking at disorder. We're looking at a completely different kind of order, a kinetic, super adaptive system that plays by its own rules. So to really understand that engine, we first have to peel back that layer of chaos and tackle the big misconception head-on.
The story you usually hear, the myth, is that Lagos is just this huge, unplanned city that's constantly on the brink of collapse. But the reality? It's so much more interesting. It's a self-organizing, highly adaptive engine that works because it isn't rigid. It just absorbs pressure and finds a new way forward, constantly. So how on earth does a city of over 20 million people keep growing without some grand top-down plan? The answer is pretty wild. It literally builds itself from the ground up.
And the process is remarkably consistent. First, you have this constant flow of people arriving looking for opportunity. Now, they don't wait around for official housing projects. Informal housing springs up to fill any and every available gap. And this is the key part. These communities create their own rules, their own systems of order, long before any government official ever shows up.
This is the core dynamic right here. The city's growth isn't some failure of planning, no. It's a testament to raw human energy just completely outpacing any formal system. It is an active, ongoing creation. Now, this whole self-building idea, it doesn't just stop with the buildings. It extends directly to the city's incredible economy. If the city builds itself, well, its economy has to work the same way.
Okay, this is probably the most important thing to grasp about how Legos functions. We tend to think of the informal economy, street vendors, unregistered businesses, as a sideshow. But in Legos, it's not a backup plan. It is the main system. It's the primary operating system that employs most of the people and keeps the entire city moving.
And what you get is this amazing collision of activity happening all at once. I mean, you've got vendors selling snacks in traffic jams right outside the shiny headquarters of a global tech company. You have these massive, sprawling markets operating right alongside the formal trade happening at the port. It's not one or the other, it's everything, all together, all at the same time.
So, what happens when the official infrastructure can't keep up? When the power grid fails or the roads are just a parking lot? Simple. The city improvises. Thousands of generators become the new power grid. Fleets of boats become the new roads. Private solutions fill in the public gaps. This constant adaptation isn't a sign of failure, it is the infrastructure.
But here's the thing. Legos doesn't just survive, it creates. All this relentless energy is fueling a cultural explosion that is now influencing the entire world.
In a city that's all about pressure and hustle, creativity isn't just a hobby, it's essential. It's like an outlet valve. It's the city's way of breathing, of processing its own intensity, and the results are loud, confident, and completely unapologetic.
And from that energy, you get these huge global movements. You've heard of Afrobeats, right? The music that's taking over charts everywhere? It was born right here, in the clubs and studios of Lagos. Nollywood is one of the biggest film industries on the planet. The city's street style is setting fashion trends, and its creators are shaping digital culture way beyond Africa. So you see, Legos isn't just passively dealing with its circumstances. It takes all of its reality, the good, the bad, the intense, and projects it outward as this powerful, influential culture. It has a voice, and right now, the whole world is listening.
So all of this brings us to the future. Lagos is, in many ways, a blueprint for how cities grow under extreme pressure. But man, it is facing some enormous questions.
First up, the physical challenge. Can the formal systems, power, water, transportation, ever actually catch up to a population that is growing this ridiculously fast?
Or is improvisation always going to be the real solution?
Then there's the social challenge. The city's energy is incredible, but it exists right alongside massive inequality. You literally have luxury high-rises looking down on overcrowded settlements. Can that huge gap ever be closed without breaking the very informal systems that let so many people get by?
And finally, there's the environmental threat. As a low-lying coastal city, Lagos is right on the front lines of climate change and rising sea levels. So how does a city that builds itself also learn how to protect itself?
But if we've learned anything, it's this. Lagos does not wait for someone to hand it a solution. It experiments, it adapts, it evolves while it's in motion. The city itself, in all its messy, improvisational genius, is the solution taking shape right before our eyes.
And that, at the end of the day, is the biggest takeaway. If you go looking for perfect, tidy order in Lagos, you're missing the entire point. It's not a neat system. It's a living, breathing organism. And maybe, just maybe, it's a glimpse into the future of what it means to be a city in the 21st century.